What is up? Welcome back to Softcore History. I am your host for the week, Rob Fox, joined as always by Dan Regester, and we have a very special guest this week, a history podcaster from another acclaimed. You just wait.
Act like a professional one time, dude.
Joel's here.
Yeah, it's just me, Joel.
Joel Hodge-Benner.
Thanks for having me. Hey, you said my name right.
Bring that microphone closer to you. You're a fucking producer, dude.
Dude, when you were doing my test, this is where I kept it.
Yeah, he had you leveled to that.
I heard about you. You're very picky when it comes to your sound.
He would shove that mic down your fucking throat if he could.
Shove it up your ass, Rob.
There's no, probably.
Same result.
Eventually, that's what you would do, right? It's one hole, then another. It's just whatever. The mic's never good enough for Dan. Ever. He has to reach like this peak audio.
I'm always chasing, right? There's no such thing as a 10.
You've
wrong with that.
invented a dragon, and yeah, you are now chasing it.
Which, by the way, patreon.com/softcorehistory. We're talking about dragons.
Oh, yeah? Hell yeah.
Is that the kind of dragon you're talking about?
Also, my namesake, Daniel.
The dragon.
Well, no, not the dragon.
Well, your nickname is Dragon, so that's why I thought you were
right,
talking about.
but my name, Daniel, in the Bible, not only dealt with lions,
He dealt with dragons, too.
he also fucked with a dragon.
Sick.
Not really into it, but
You of all people aren't into the Bible?
I think, we're talking. This is a religious episode today.
I hate religion.
Then you're going to love this episode. Then you're absolutely going to love this episode.
All right.
You're going to be like, I told you so, bullshit. Fuck Jesus.
Sick.
You do kind of seem like a Church of Satan type of fella.
I do?
Yeah.
No. That's still a religion.
It is.
It's actually kind of a peaceful religion, no?
I guess I'm not really anti-religion.
They're more community service driven.
No. The Church of Satan is like a political organization, basically. Like, they just kind of show up to be like, oh, you say you can't, that every religion has to be respected or whatever, and then they just show up and they're like,
I don't think that's accurate at all.
yeah, it is. And then they show up and they're like, well, our religion says that abortion rules or something, which I respect. I respect them trolling religious people trying to shove their shit.
I'm going to have to do an episode on the Church of Satan.
Yeah, that's fine.
Isn't that like a modern church?
Yeah, they just kind of show up to troll, which I'm fine with that. But to say like, oh
think
yeah,
you got this wrong, buddy.
They're a very community service forward religion. No. I guarantee you, every church they hate, and rightfully so for the reasons they hate them. Every church they allege to hate does 100 fucking X minimum the community service that they do.
I think you're so wrong on this.
It's not even close. I'm so right. It's not even funny. I will stake anything on that. That's how right I am.
Is the Church of Satan like actually satanic though?
No.
It's just sort of
right.
They're trolls. They're trolls.
Aren't trolls satanic? Like historically, like a cave troll would kind of come from the devil. Yeah.
They're not always bad trolls. There's good trolls.
Like who?
Like when?
Dave.
What?
Dave the troll.
Who's
Dave the
that?
troll.
Like trolls, like the movie with Justin Timberlake, like the funny trolls with the big hair from the 90s.
Oh yeah, those were good trolls.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
one of them was named Dave.
You like flay their hair out real wide and then tickle your friend's balls with them.
Oh. Well, I didn't do that part. That's what you did with them.
Yeah.
Cool.
Anyway, let's get in to this week's episode. It's always been one of the things we've always been against on this show is self-esteem.
Okay.
Having too much self-esteem, starting to believe in yourself too much. If you believe in yourself too much, you'll believe anything about yourself. The last thing you want in history is someone on a heat check.
Okay.
Because when someone's on a heat check...
Yeah, Rob has firsthand experience of this.
Like what?
Having low self-esteem?
No, having too high of
Oh,
an
too high of
opinion
esteem.
on himself.
Sorry, yeah.
If you get too... Yeah, you can believe anything.
Ask him about his 20s
They were sick.
and early 30s.
They were sick, actually, though. But really just the back half of my 20s. Well, no, because the front half of my 20s was in college. 20 to 23, great. 24, 25, pretty ass. 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31.
God
30.
mode.
Oh, yeah.
I don't remember any of my 20s because of alcohol.
Ah.
Yeah.
I stuck on to most. I hung on to most of my memories despite the alcohol. Although honestly, I do.
You both push through the typical stereotype of guy that goes hard in his 20s, what he does in his 30s. Either find religion, find fitness.
Did none of those.
I mean, I have a family.
We got hitched.
Yeah, we're both married.
Yeah, but you're both alcoholics.
So
I'm a functioning alcoholic.
Same.
There's a difference.
It's sweet. Yeah, a functioning. You know what a functioning alcoholic is? You know what I call a functioning alcoholic? Just a person.
Successful?
Yeah. Not an alcoholic. I don't call him that. Functioning alcoholic is an oxymoron.
True.
Honestly.
You're not an alcoholic till you like fuck shit up.
Yeah.
Right? Till you start ruining
You
your
don't
life.
go to AA if you're a functioning alcoholic. You go to AA when you stop functioning
Yeah.
as an alcoholic.
When you lose all your friends.
Let me see those liver levels.
I just went to the doctor. They're great.
They're
Dude,
great.
I
And
actually
I had
have
more tea than you little bitch. You little cuck.
Wait,
Is your
what?
tea higher than 635?
Yeah.
Oh, dang.
Fuck.
Look at that.
My fucking cum melts cervixes.
I guess I have low tea.
Yeah.
Dan said my tea should be like 900.
I
I'm
bet
like,
you got
that's
I
weird.
bet you got a big old dick, you low T little bitch. If you're low T, you got a big wang.
That's what Dan was saying. That's true?
Yeah, because your dumb retarded sperm can't get through the egg good, so you need a bigger wiener to just shove it in closer, because your sperm's weak. But I have a manly small penis with the strongest sperm you ever see.
I got bad
Nice.
news for you, buddy.
Yeah.
I don't have a big dick.
Clip that.
So very average penis.
You got a Goldilocks stick?
Goldilocks. It's thicker, you know.
Yeah, I like
Tuna can Dan is what they called me.
That's too thick. This girl I dated in high school.
Yeah, it's not long, but man, the girth.
This girl I dated in high school was telling me about her ex-boyfriend's dick, and because I asked, of course, and she was like, "Yeah, it was like a hockey puck."
Oof.
I was like, "I want to see it. I want to see that."
I have a normal dick. I think it's normal.
Yeah, I think everyone would be pretty whelmed if they saw my penis. You know what I mean?
Whelmed.
It's a penis. Yeah.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
good, though.
Yeah.
Is it a cute dick though?
No, I wouldn't draw it.
My wife says I have a nice, cute dick.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like, whoa.
Some girls do describe penises as like either cute or ugly.
There are ugly dicks.
They're definitely ugly dicks. I don't think, again, whelmed.
Well,
You know what I mean? That's where I'm at with that. But yeah, look, you don't want someone on a heat check, all right? Because when someone gets on a heat check, everyone gets burned. And that is the story of the Münster Rebellion, which is what we're going to talk about today.
Munster?
Munster, Germany.
Oh.
Like Munster cheese.
Eddie Munster.
Munster.
Yeah, that you're talking about the
Munsters.
Munsters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's in Westphalia, Germany. This has a lot of classic softcore history sort of tent poles in it. Catholic hate, irrational self-confidence, socialism not working,
Mm-hmm.
all the good stuff.
What was the first word?
Catholic hate.
Oh, Catholic hate.
Yeah, Catholic hate.
Oh, I thought-
Hatred of
But not
Catholics.
Catholic guilt. They're two different things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But this does end up becoming a beautiful scenario where Catholics and Protestants come together to murder even crazier Protestants.
Okay, I thought you were going to say like vampires.
Maybe.
Trolls.
These people are trolls, I think, in a way.
Okay.
The Münster Rebellion was a religious uprising by a group known as the Anabaptists. The Anabaptists were a sect of Protestant Christianity. We'll get into it in a little bit. The Münster Rebellion, by the way, basically happens like right after Lutheranism starts. In fact, Martin Luther is still alive when this is going on. So the 95 Theses have been nailed to the door.
The Anabaptists were like, hey, we don't like it when you dunk them in the water.
Kind of. So it's not anti-Baptists. It's Anabaptists. A-N-A Baptists.
No.
I've never heard that.
It's a weird sect. Some people say, I think present day, to go back to your home area, present day Mennonites kind of trace themselves back to Anabaptists.
Like the Quaker Oats guy?
No, Mennonites are kind of like Amish adjacent. They're like Amish.
Okay.
Yeah. But you know how Amish have like Rumspringa?
Is that the thing where you can leave?
You can leave, yeah.
Rumspring break forever. Yeah. So, well, that's what the Anabaptists were kind of into too. So, on their face, Anabaptists seem pretty reasonable, especially in their main belief, which is you need to get baptized as an adult because a child can't
make that decision for himself.
Yeah, can't consent. A child can't consent. Now, as a Catholic, I believe a child can consent
To cut in his own penis.
to everything.
Yeah.
Are you guys cut?
Oh, we're cut.
Yeah, I'm cut.
Me too, man.
Yeah.
Sick.
I'll tell you what, you haven't lived until you've taken care of a cut penis, a freshly cut penis.
Who are the group of people that think that children should not be circumcised because they don't really have the wherewithal to know what's going on?
Oh, they protest outside of shit all. They protest outside of like college football games a lot.
Right, like they should have a choice.
In fact, at my bachelor party when we went to the Mizzou West Virginia game in 2019 at Mizzou, there was like that. They had a huge anti-circumcision protest outside of the game, and what they do is they wear all white and they put like red on their crotch, and they're
Sounds
like
like a good
children
time.
can't consent to getting circumcised. I don't know if our recent friend, who
they go around and throw buckets of blood onto people's pants.
Yeah.
The first time I hooked up with my wife, she was scared because she had never been with someone with
Yeah,
a
she's
cut
European.
dick.
Yeah, it's only a North American thing, and it's only basically like
Why
America.
do we do it? I thought it was. They say it's a health thing, right?
It's easier. It's cleaner and everything like that. And
You don't have to clean as much.
yeah, pretty much. Like you get
Dirty
stuff-
Americans.
You people, stuff gets in there.
That's true.
Yeah, like stuff gets in there.
It's also easier to get in there.
What do you mean?
If you're not
Yeah, it's
circumcised,
right there.
You can go in dry. That's what I've heard.
Think of all the things that get stuck in your belly button.
Yeah.
Now imagine that on your penis.
In your
gross.
penis.
So like with little kids, like with my kids, when I don't have to really do it anymore. It's more like when they're infants. But even after they were circumcised and they were healed and everything like that, like a little baby penis has more like foreskin than it needs because like the dick hasn't really grown or whatever. And
This is
like
going a weird way.
I'm just saying, like you have to clean. You have to like get like diaper lint out of there and
Yeah.
stuff. Stuff
Ugh.
gets in there. It's
I once
gross.
found a roll of buffalo nickels
It
in my
is.
belly button. So, man, pulling that out of my foreskin, that'd be weird.
Would be horrible.
So if you have a son and you are at the hospital, do you tell them you want it?
They're like, are you?
Does it cost
they're
you
like, are we-
more?
No, it doesn't cost you anything.
Okay.
It's free. It's
It's like part of it. Or do you have to say no? Like if you don't say anything,
no,
Did they
no,
just
no.
cut
You they come and ask, like, are we doing
Okay.
circumcision? And you're like, yeah, I don't want my kid to have some weird wiener.
yeah, you don't want them to not fit in.
What happens
Right.
if they make the call themselves?
They call an audible.
They just don't ask your permission. They're just like, sorry, we figured in the moment it was better to just go ahead with it.
Then you're, I guess, stuck with it. They can't put it back on.
Do you have legal discourse against them?
Yes, probably. I assume.
Wouldn't that you'd have to be religiously against it or something?
No, you don't have to do anything. They ask if you want to do it. And
You
say- and
mutilated my
you have to
son.
You have to be affirmative to them, and I think sign some shit for sure. And yeah, and then they go and do it, and then they bring him back with a bleeding penis.
Shit. Do you get to eat it, like the placenta?
Foreskin? You know, the first time I asked that, they threw me out of the hospital. You don't
Yeah.
make that. You don't make that mistake twice.
Did you eat the placenta? Did you keep it?
My
Cook it?
wife had it made into like pills.
I was obsessed with being a cannibal without cheating. That would be the only, or without it being illegal. Eating a placenta would make you a cannibal. So even those pills, did you take them?
What?
Did you take
I
the
didn't
pills?
take one. No, it was like a pill. You can't taste anything.
You're still a cannibal. So your wife's a cannibal
Yeah,
then.
my wife's cannibal. My
Cool.
wife is eating humans.
That's sick, dude.
Yeah.
Like, it's supposed to be full of stem cells, right?
That's the umbilical cord that has it all. As far as I know.
would eat it. Yeah, if someone was like, "Here, I cooked my placenta. Do you want a piece?" I'd be like, "Yeah, whatever. I'll try
I'm
it."
gonna eat the placenta
Yeah,
for
I'll
sure.
try it. It's not.
There's recipes online for them.
Yeah, I've watched people cook it like on YouTube and stuff.
Why?
I don't know. I just wanted to see what a chicken fried placenta looked like.
Throw some bacon on it, lettuce,
Dude.
tomato.
I like to do it with a
Bacon
good,
wrap
a
placenta.
good red-eyed sausage gravy.
Okay.
I mean, you go full chicken fried placenta. That's the best way to cook a placenta, in my opinion. Don't let anyone else tell you anything else.
What kind of sides you going with? Mashed potatoes.
Yeah, mashed potatoes, green beans. I mean, a real diner experience.
Yeah.
That'd be a sweet barbecue. Like 3 best friends all have a kid at the same time, and you have like placenta or bacon wrapped placentas for a barbecue event.
That would be a really funny thing to feed someone without them knowing.
That's fucked up though.
I know. which is why it's funny.
You'd make him a cannibal.
Like you like make them a taco or something, and you're like, what kind of meat is this? And you're like, oh, it's a tripe or whatever, tripa, and they're like, oh, okay, and then you're like, just kidding, it came out of my wife's pussy. She shoved it out after Todd, our baby.
You're naming your kid Todd.
Yeah,
That's the weirder part. Why are you naming that baby Todd?
I have a good reason to name him baby Todd. Todd means fox, so I'm naming him Fox.
Fox squared.
Yeah,
Sick.
Todd's a bad name, though.
Todd's a great name.
Fox is a better name than Todd Fox.
Fox is good.
Fox.
Or like Foxy Fox.
It sounds like a terrible Star Wars name. Fox.
Yeah. Jar Jar.
Anyway, so the Anabaptists were against child baptism. You had to be an adult and like consciously be able to accept Jesus Christ into your heart. Here's some other stuff they believed. It's from the Schleitem Confession, who the guy who wrote it, by the way, immediately executed for being a heretic. But here's some other stuff that the Anabaptists believe. 1, 3 strikes and you're out.
Okay.
Out of the church?
Yeah. So if you sinned, the first 2 times you sinned, you were disciplined in private, or you were admonished in private. Not even disciplined. They're like, hey, don't fucking do that.
In private, though.
In private. 3rd time, excommunicated. Done. You're out of the fucking church. You have like and if you are not in the church, much like Scientology, no one's allowed to communicate with you.
You can't
or
talk to
anything.
him anymore.
So,
Could you foul a couple off, though?
Yeah, 2 strikes. You can just foul it off to you. Well, that wasn't even an original.
Stay alive.
It wasn't even an original rule in baseball, so I don't think so.
It used to be you foul, you're out.
Foul is a strike?
Oh, I'm sorry. No, I'm thinking of the opposite. It used to be in baseball, like in the 1870s, 1880s.
A foul wasn't a strike at all.
No. A foul on the 2nd strike was do-over, but that included bunting. And so what would happen is when someone's star pitcher started out a game or whatever, their ace, Zach Wheeler's starting the game, the first couple batters would just bunt and foul off as many pitches as they could and gas the
Get
guys
that
off.
pitch count up.
Yep.
Oh, that's fucked up.
So like it'd be the 2nd inning and the ace would have like 70 pitches.
You put one in the ribs there.
Yeah. In the fucking face. Are you kidding me?
Got to set the tone, set a message.
So yeah, not a rule anymore. Like I said, no association with people outside the church. Also, originally, no weapons, no violence. Totally pacifist.
What does that mean?
I'm all in so far.
Can you not use knives to cut your food?
I guess you could do that, but no fighting. You couldn't own a sword, anything like that. And then you weren't allowed to be a judge or take any oaths or anything
What about
like.
farming tools?
Yeah, you can do violence to wheat. You can't do violence to humans.
What are the benefits? We're going to get to the benefits of joining this church?
That's it. I mean, that's
Like, if you can't do all these things, what do you get to do?
Go to heaven.
Can you bang?
Oh, yeah, we'll get to that.
Okay. Okay.
But one of the main things I want to talk about when I mentioned earlier, like socialism and stuff like that, everyone totally equal, no property, at like very Jesus hippie commune situation.
Okay.
No property, no money. Everyone's equal, men, women. Race doesn't even really exist yet in the sense that we would think of it. To a large extent. Obviously, if you're probably like doing gay shit, they'll burn you alive. But
Yeah.
Yeah,
does gay shit count as a strike? Or you
yeah.
Or
Gay
you
shit's
just
a big
murdered?
strike, yeah. Like you suck 2 dicks. They take you.
One dick's okay.
They take you into the principal's office. You get yelled at. Dick 3. Get out. So the Anabaptists kind of rose in popularity. There was a German peasant uprising in the 1520s.
Squash that bitch.
No, that got squashed for sure.
Get out of here, peasants.
And the Anabaptists kind of rose up at first. At first, a lot of the Anabaptists in the Münster area that we're going to talk about specifically, they're pretty hardcore Lutherans because they thought Catholicism sucked ass And Lutherans were giving Catholics the what for, so they were like, hell yeah, let's fucking go, dude. Yeah, fuck Catholics. Fuck dad. Fuck dad.
You say all these different religions. I have no idea how they operate.
Like Catholicism, Lutheranism.
No, I know the big three, right? I even kind of know how Scientology works and Mormons. But, like, when you start to get to Lutheran and all these, like, subsects and all these
Not only do I not
lesser
know,
religions, I don't care, though.
that's a great way to describe it. Lesser religion. Because not only do I not know what they believe, I don't care. I don't care. My wife gets so mad at me, but I really am just like, I'm sorry, Jesus founded our church. Your church was founded by a guy named Steve. So I just don't fucking care. I don't fucking care.
Peter was the rock on which our church was built.
Yeah, like you can't, if you can't trace your church back, like we're a straight line. You're like 8 branches off of that fucking straight. Like I just can't listen to it.
You just stirred your drink with your finger. Just
What else do I have to use?
True.
Yeah, that's what I got. So the Anabaptists, like I said, they're like, yeah, fuck Catholicism, fuck you, Dad, we like to do fuck everything. But like many a revolutionary, the point for these people, especially their leaders in particular, really just their leaders, the point for these people is not change. It's not to make the world a better place. It's just doing revolution. They just want to like be like, yeah, fuck you, man. Fuck everything. We're doing it. We fucking rule, dude. We're burning it down. We're changing shit. They don't really want to change anything. They just want to. They don't want to build things. They only want to break things.
Right.
Sometimes you just got to break stuff.
Yeah, and then someone else will come and build it.
Just one of those days
Yeah. Yeah. Like a chainsaw.
when you don't give a fuck.
That's Limp Bizkit.
Everybody
referring to.
sucks.
Not familiar with that song.
Jacksonville.
Never heard that one?
Yeah. I can't imagine Rob ever went through a Limp Bizkit phase.
No. I did think his Red Yankees hat was kind of cool. And then
This is one of the first albums I actually got that was explicit.
hot
As a
dog flavored
child.
water.
Was hot dog flavored water.
Oh shit.
I
Yeah.
think I was like 8.
I got the second album, Significant Other. That was my jam.
Oh boy, remember that there was like a time in history long enough ago that we could even do an episode on it, where it was like everyone was obsessed with rap and rock, eventually like merging into one musical genre.
Rap rock, dude.
Yeah, like that was like they're like the lines between rap and rock. It was like a black and white thing. It was just like very. I just remember people talk like BT and
Linkin Park,
and
Limp
VJs
Bizkit.
talking about that all the time.
But actually, Limp Bizkit has historical significance.
In what way?
The music video for Rollin'.
Was it the last one filmed on top of the World Trade Center?
Oh
was.
shit.
It was.
That's right. Yeah.
And I think it debuted like right before 9/11.
That'd be sweet if in that Robert Pattinson movie where it pans out and you realize he's in the World Trade Center, if it panned out even more and Limp Bizkit was shooting their music video on top of it.
If only we could retroactively put Fred Durst at the towers during 9/11.
You could actually
Maybe that's why they flew planes into it.
Yeah, they were like, this song
sucks ass,
It's
dude.
horrible.
They didn't hate America.
They hated Limp Bizkit.
This is the worst thing that has ever happened to us.
That would make more
The
sense.
infidels have gone too far. Can deal with everything else. No more of these Limp Bizkit. So soon, though, to the Anabaptists, even the Lutherans were, because now the Lutherans were in charge, and they were like, well, fuck you, because you're in charge now. Ugh.
I'm going to need another voice for that.
Why?
Just change it up, I think. There's multiple revolutionaries and multiple people that are just causing chaos.
They sound like
Each church needs its own.
Yeah, each individual
Voice,
needs
if
their
you
own
can handle
voice.
that.
I didn't plan for that.
You could do it.
Take a sip.
Yeah,
Come up with
relax.
another voice.
I'll do what I can. I'll see what comes. Anyway, so the Lutherans were in charge now, and the Anabaptists were like, all right, fuck the Lutherans too. We just want to fuck shit up. So pamphlets that at first denounced Catholicism from a radical Lutheran perspective soon started to just go their complete own route and say that the Bible called for absolute equality in everything, including distribution of wealth. So they were like I said, no property, no money. We share everything equally, blah, blah, blah. Eventually, the Anabaptists became so numerous in Munster in particular that they were able to take over the city government. So they actually got political power in the city of Munster, it was in the Holy Roman Empire, but it was very its own self-contained like city-state.
Okay.
Very a lot of it was ruled at the time by it was Catholic, and it was ruled by the time by a prince/bishop. He was both.
Okay. What's the population?
It's a city.
Okay, so there's a lot of people.
Back then,
thousands.
They're 1,200.
1,200?
I don't know.
Yeah.
So the population of the Holy Roman Empire in total was 23 million.
Oh, shit.
I was close.
15,000.
Yeah.
15,000 people.
Price is Right rules, I win.
Okay. Sure.
15,000 people?
One.
Okay.
You got it right.
There's one.
Ruled by Bishop Prince?
You just can't go over. So the leaders of the Anabaptists, there was Bernard Rothman, who was a former priest who became a Lutheran pastor. Jan Mathis, who was a baker from Harlem, who was like the Anabaptist, like, prophet, basically.
Breaking bread, dude.
Yeah. Jan Bockelson. Then there was Bernard. Rothman wrote the pamphlets, and there's another guy, Bernard Kipperdoling, who was his sugar daddy. He was a wool merchant who was like, yeah, your beliefs rule. I love your writing. I'll fund everything. He just
Slip that
underwrote.
sock off. I want to see that foot.
What?
What is...
Probably what he did, right? He said he's a sugar
Oh,
daddy.
yeah. Yeah. He's like,
shit.
right for me. Take that foot.
Foot fetish.
Yeah. That makes sense. So,
You get a strike for that?
yeah, probably. I would hope so. So Bernard Knipperdoling was the mayor, and he, after they deposed like the Lutheran government, they put him in charge, and some other Anabaptists. Him and Rothman started like spreading their beliefs around, and it was very similar to the Anabaptist beliefs. Like it was very much like everyone's equal. Fuck the Catholic Church. Fuck Lutherans. Fuck property. Everything. Right.
Did they have
It was three dudes?
anything that kind of
Rothman and
Baker, a woman?
differentiate each other?
Rothman and Knipperdoling.
Okay.
So don't worry about it. The other guys will come in. What'd you say?
Okay.
Did they have qualities that separated them from that church?
From the Anabaptists?
Yeah.
I guess, but they were similar enough that when the Anabaptists started going out to other cities, because they started out in the Netherlands, kind of, when they and in parts of France, they started going out to other cities to scope shit out and preach. And two of them, John of Leyden and Gerrit Bockbinder, visited Münster to see what was going on there. And they heard everything Rothman was saying, and they were like, whoa, these guys are sweet. They're saying the same shit we're saying. So they got back to their boy, Jan Mathis, who was the prophet guy, and they were like, dude, Münster is where it's at. There's a bunch of Anabaptist type people here already.
Yeah.
They kind of run the government a little bit. Like,
If you're going to be a peasant back then, why don't you just be a traveling hobo? See the world.
these guys basically were. Like, they were traveling preachers. That is a traveling
Like,
hobo.
why would you ever want to stay in the city as, like, a fucking peon? You know? When you can see the world.
These guys were. They were traveling all over.
That's what I'm saying. But, like,
Yeah.
if you go back in time, wouldn't that be your option?
It's either that, but yeah,
If you would
it's a rough
know,
life.
right? You don't really know that there's a giant world.
You do. You know there's something
In the
outside of where you are.
In the 1500s,
Kind of know.
you're aware. I mean, America's been discovered by that point, so everyone's like, okay, the world's crazy. And
Yeah, yeah.
And then you just kind of go somewhere, throw a grenade in, and then leave.
yeah.
Metaphorically. of
I do
course.
agree, though. Like, why not just walk?
Discover new land. Become a king of something. Even if there's no one else there.
Walking sucks, dude. That's why we invented cars.
It does suck.
Walking's dope.
If you had like a mule or something.
You have nothing else to do back then. Especially
True.
if you were unemployed, you had no trade, no craft. You know, work for somebody else? No.
You know, like a horse and wagon, no shocks.
You're going to be the guy that shovels shit?
Well, no.
Yeah, no, I'm going to go walk. I'm just going to continue to walk. And I'm probably going to get murked by some soldiers.
You probably step on something and get an infection.
Yeah.
Die.
So did you? So like the thing about walking though, and I agree with this, is like why wouldn't you do this? Fuck, internet's being retarded. Right
Cross a lot of water?
now. No, the longest walking route in the world is from South Africa to somewhere in like way north Russia or whatever, it would only take 4,800 hours to walk it, which 4,800 divided by 24.
Yeah, but you stay in cities,
Right.
towns, taverns.
I'm just saying, to go from Cape Town, South Africa, to the tip of Russia, if you just walked every day, like a normal amount of time every day,
Like 8 hours a day?
yeah, it would take like a year. It doesn't take that long to walk a huge distance. It's crazy. Like
Yes,
it
I'm
really
not saying don't consistently do it, but I'm saying like kind of move.
But that's what I'm
every
saying. You can
couple
do
months.
it. You can move. Like it's not that hard to just go travel.
Create a
Like,
new life.
Yeah.
Go
Forrest
do what you
Gump
want.
did
Yeah.
it. You can do that if you want. You could do it now. Just go walk, dude.
Just fucking go.
Right.
Be a man of the earth. But then you'll get Rambo'd. Like some sheriff will come up to you and be like, "Get the hell out of my
You
town.
keep growing out your hair,
you
yeah.
hobo." But unlike Rambo, you won't be able to do anything about it, and you'll just have to get sprayed with a hose and have your genitals deloused and then kicked out of the town.
I feel like back then the chances would be equal, like or worse.
What?
To get like robbed or murdered or killed for your
yeah.
Bandits.
yeah.
Although, what are they going to steal?
Or animals.
You don't have anything on you.
They'll steal you, slave.
Yeah.
Yeah, they'll just steal you. You can either be sold or you got holes.
What were like the animals that were the most like natural animals in that area that would kill you?
In Germany, just like bears, maybe.
But there was probably a shit ton more back then.
Yeah. Oh, and wolves.
Yeah,
Wolves
Did you
are
just
the
get killed
issue.
by wolves your first
Wolves,
day out of
yeah.
town?
You'll be like, I'm walking through the world, exploring it. And you just get ripped to pieces by
You
wolves.
become yeah, but then you become wolf man. You befriend the wolves. You become
you
a
go.
part of the pack.
That would
You
be
could.
sick.
You just got an alpha. It's like
You
prison.
do. You do have to.
You got to punch the biggest wolf in the pack.
Mm-hmm. Right in the nose, and then he's got to go prove it. Yeah, that's the way you do it. So they get to Munster, John of Leyden and this other guy, and they're like, "It's sweet here." So,
It's awesome here. It's like
it's
the
sweet.
Limp Biscuit of cities.
Yes, and they're like, "There's these dudes playing this sweet music on top of a tower. You gotta get here." And so they get back to Mathis, who baptized them, and he's like the big Anabaptist, and they're like, "You got to get here. This is it." So Mathis, who, like I said, he's like, "I'm the big dick Anabaptist. I am the prophet." He's proclaimed that he is actually Enoch, one of the two people to witness the book of Revelation. So he's seen everything. He's seen the four horsemen and the mark of the beast. He's like, "I saw it. Yeah, I'm actually from the Bible." And people are like,
Yeah.
"Whoa, wow!"
And they believe him.
Yeah, of course they do.
So he did fungus.
Dude, I'm imagining the church, just this little band, and it's like acoustic versions of Limp Bizkit songs.
Well, a tower does come into play here eventually.
And depending on the mushrooms that he ingested, he could probably see into the future and listen to that album.
He knew about
Yeah.
him, yeah.
And he hoped that the end days would come before it. By the way, you could tell me what's more metal, Limp Bizkit doing their shit on top of the World Trade Center, or what happens on top of this tower
Okay.
by the end of the episode. So Mathis gets to Munster and is like, they tell him that's great or whatever. And so Mathis gets there and is declared leader of the city, and he's like, "This Munster is actually the New Jerusalem."
It's a bold claim.
Yeah, he's like, "It's New Jerusalem, and in case you didn't already know, which you definitely already know, I'm from the Bible, which means I'm in charge of Jerusalem."
I mean, we've said crazier shit, right? Someone proclaimed Missouri is where the world started.
Mormons believe the Garden of Eden is in Jackson County, Missouri, which is Kansas City.
Sick.
That's
What are the
more
facts
absurd.
behind that?
Nothing.
Okay.
I mean, nothing.
Same facts this guy has.
Yeah.
This guy's earlier, though.
This guy is earlier. Honestly, their facts are worse than this guy, even somehow. They get there, and Rothman, who's the main preacher there, immediately accepts their shit and is like, "Yes, we're going to fold in with you guys." And they start baptizing 1,000 adults that day. They go through the town, they're preaching, and they're like crazy preachers, too. They're fucking screaming.
Yelling
And,
at
baptizing adults. Like, "You must be baptized. Were you baptized?" And they're like, "Yeah, it's a baby." They're like, "No, that doesn't fucking count. You got to baptize you right fucking now. Like, get in the water. You're good." And they're like, "Get in the water." And they're like, "Okay, fuck." Waves of hysteria went through the city. People fell in the streets. People were foaming at the mouth. People claimed that they were having visions of the apocalypse after the Anabaptists showed up. Like, all kinds of crazy shit just starts happening immediately in the town of Münster.
They started a riot from baptizing people?
Yeah, I guess. And it was over like the course of a couple days. It was just like the religious hysteria just gripped the town.
Fuck.
They get a complete hold of the town. They now fully take over the government, and this is where things start going from like, oh yeah, they're like, there's a lot of Anabaptists in the town to this becomes a like cult city. It becomes a full city run by a cult.
That's fucking rad. Though.
Like the type of
That's
shit.
a power move.
Yeah, the type of shit that Scientologists could only dream of with Clearwater, Florida.
Yeah.
So Mathis becomes the dictator of the town, basically, expels all the Catholics from the city, outlaws money. So like they already don't believe in property and all that stuff, but now they have a real like polity that they are running where they can like institute their beliefs in a systemic way.
With 15,000 people.
Yeah. So money's outlawed. Property is outlawed. You can't own property anymore. So if you have a house that you live in with your family, that's not your fucking house anymore.
But
you can stay there.
You still live there.
You can stay there. Nobody's making you leave, but you can't make other people not
Are you paying rent?
come in.
Yeah, you don't have to pay rent either.
No, there's no
right?
money. What are you paying?
The state of God.
Yeah.
So what is it all trade then? It would just be trade, right?
No, there's no economy.
You offer
Nothing.
up prayer.
Well, how do
Everything
you
is
eat
an exchange of the word of God.
How do you eat? I don't know how to eat. I don't fucking know how to eat.
Like a good in service you pay for in a Bible verse.
Mm.
So all goods were also now held in common. People in Münster were pretty opposed to this, especially the people that were basically force baptized like 2 days earlier. So these crazy people run in and they're like, we need to baptize you, or you gotta fucking leave. And you're like, all right. And then you're like, okay, whatever. They're just crazy. They baptize you, whatever. And then like 2 days later, they're like, you don't own your house anymore.
Yeah, you have to work for free on your farm and feed all of us for
and
free.
People were like, all these people were like, what the fuck? No.
So it was a bunch of guys doing a group project, cracked out on Adderall.
Yes.
Yeah. It seems insane in my mind right now.
It is insane. It's fucking insane. So a lot of people, not everyone was reluctant. Like some people, probably the poors, were like, "Oh, it's pretty great actually. I want to live in a mansion."
Were they using force to make everyone follow the rules?
Yeah.
So they had
here's the thing.
like a
Wait,
military.
I thought that military weapons or anything that could harm a fellow human, not allowed.
Well, funny you bring that up. So that was the original belief by the guy who wrote that thesis or whatever that I talked about. And Mathis was a disciple of him. But after he was executed, Mathis was like, actually, you should be able to violently resist any oppression
After
of our
he was
religion.
executed?
Yeah.
The guy
that had the peaceful
that he was
version.
disciple of?
Yeah. Mathis was like, actually, fuck that. We should be violent as fuck to anyone trying to oppress us.
In their Bible, there's just like a part that's scratched out
Pretty
and
much,
rewritten.
yeah.
Yeah.
And, what is oppression? It's whatever the oppressed person says it is.
Okay.
So you can use violence.
Whenever you want now.
Yeah, whenever you want. So the people who were reluctant to give up the shit they owned were assembled, told to relinquish their money or they would be killed, and then locked inside of a church.
Where did they put the money?
Why do they need the money?
But I just want to know where it goes.
Well, this is like very early on.
Oh,
so
they're taking everyone's money because money's no longer necessary. Or it's illegal now.
they're taking all the, but so money back then it's not like dollar bills, right? We're talking like silver coins, gold, and stuff like that.
They melt it down and
Rubies.
make like statues and crosses and stuff.
Or, I mean, I guess it's the type of thing where you still have to while money might not be allowed within your community for the time being,
You still have to trade with
procure goods from outside
other areas.
until you conquer those areas.
What if you're one of the rich people there? They're like, give us all your money.
Yeah, these are the people that are like rich and middle class people are like,
What the
fuck off.
Yeah.
Suck my dick, dude. Why the hobo can't live in my house? He keeps touching my kids.
There's like a dude with a bunch of diamonds who's been mining. So you're gonna take my diamonds? Worked my whole life for these diamonds.
They're like, well, you're Jewish, so you're gonna die anyway.
Yeah.
So don't worry about it, buddy. You're fucking. The diamonds are your problem. No, you're the fucking.
You got bigger issues.
We're gonna light you on fire. That's your problem. Typical Jew thinking about the diamonds. We'll fucking light you on fire.
No comment. No comment on that.
These weren't good people.
Yeah.
So they were put in the church, and they were like, "Yeah, so just give up all your stuff, or we'll kill you." A couple hours later, Mathis and his armed men came in, and they were like, "You need to comply, or else." And the people in the church were like, "Okay, fuck. I mean, is what it is, I guess."
Wait, is
times
this
are
where
changing.
they make the bad men fly?
They don't make anyone fly.
Mommy, make the bad man
Yeah.
fly.
Do we make the little man fly now? Not this little man. So, Mathis also, not everyone got away. There was a blacksmith who was like, I don't know, man. Everything you're saying sounds like bullshit.
Yeah.
And Mathis was like, that guy's possessed by the devil.
Okay.
Of course.
So
And
you're
I know
telling
that,
me
'cause
right
I'm-
now, this isn't one of the few times, I forget what the word is, but the bunch of people from the Catholic Church would just get tossed out of windows.
Oh, yeah, I don't know what that is either, but no. This is
Okay. It's not one of those.
Not that
But
time.
there is a term for that, right?
Well, these guys
That
are
happened a few times.
These, I forget the name, but
Look
yeah.
it up.
God, Catholic Church thrown out of window.
Yeah, I bet it pops up immediately.
Catholic Church thrown
What is this?
out of window. I don't even know. There's the defenestration of Prague. Defenestrate out of the window.
Yeah, defenestrate, that's the word.
Okay, defenestrate.
Oh, yeah. It happened in Czech.
Happened a couple
The
times.
defenestration of Prague. There you
Yeah.
go. Yeah, this has nothing to do with that as far as I know. So anyway, Mathis was like, oh, man, this blacksmith who is calling me out on my weird beliefs, he's possessed by the devil for sure, and he's defiling our pure town that is nothing but beautiful and religious. So he is sentenced to death now. So they took the blacksmith, put him up against the town wall. Mathis took some early shitty form of musket, shot him in the stomach,
Oh, no.
and just let the guy bleed out.
Reservoir Dog style.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah.
And
Like
then
in public? Like,
Damn, he didn't
Like
even get
a-
executed
like-
with his own weapon that he made. They should have
That
made
would've
him
been cool.
handcraft, like an axe to cut his head off with.
that would actually be a pretty sick way to kill a blacksmith, to be quite honest, yeah.
Yeah, kill him with his own tool.
was it like a public display? Like, this is what happens if you...
everyone was there to watch.
Yeah. Okay.
And so,
You
yeah.
melt down the blacksmith, and you turn him into a weapon.
Turn him in. Yeah, I think that's it. And then you execute other people with,
The blacksmith.
yes. So he was shot in the stomach, died screaming and bleeding in front of the crowd. And then Mathis was like, see? Be chill.
Yes.
Just do what I
He was
say."
obviously
Yeah.
the devil.
We just love Jesus like I tell you to love Jesus, and we're not going to have a fucking problem.
Did it take him like 3 days to die?
Dude, I don't know, but he died.
It takes a long time.
And
You
then
bleed a lot out of your stomach.
Yeah.
yeah, it's like the worst place to get shot, allegedly. Like it's just like especially back in the day before there was real medicine. Like there was,
I think time plus pain plus just overall experience.
I read something back in the day too. Like if you get shot in the stomach, you really want water, but water's like like it hurts like a motherfucker when you drink
Ugh.
it, but you just keep wanting it. It's a fucking nightmare. So after the blacksmith was shot and was just sitting there bleeding out, everyone sung a hymn and then was told to go home and, quote, meditate on any possible errands. So just think about what they've done wrong. You know, there's a guy's like, all right, now we're go home.
He's like in the background.
Yeah.
You can still hear him.
Yeah. Help me.
Think about how you idly sat by and watched this
Yeah.
innocent man die.
You think about what you've done wrong, and we'll just move on from there as a community.
Dude, this is kind of off topic a little, but when you were saying drinking water makes it worse, when I had to do some shit to my pee, I got cameras and blowtorch and all this stuff shoved in my pee hole because I had like a bladder cancer scare.
Oh, God.
And you have to drink water.
Yeah.
They're like, if you don't pee like every 6 hours for the first 24 hours, your pee hole could get fucked up and get blocked. Then you have to come back. So, and dude, peeing is like the most horrible pain you could ever have. So like, and you're looking at the cup of water and you don't want to drink it at all. But if you don't, you have to go back and start over. So you have to slam water all day, and it hurts more than you can imagine every time you pee. Anyway, that's what I was thinking of.
Why didn't you do booze?
I probably did.
Yeah, because
but it needs to be water. They said specifically water.
Okay.
I don't know why, but that's what they said. They're a doctor.
Are they going to operate on you the next day? Then you can't. I don't think you can have booze in your system.
No, this was after the operation.
Oh.
I would just say, like, yeah, at least you maybe feel less.
Oh, that shit hurt. I didn't sleep for the whole day.
God, that's...
For a whole day. Like, if you laid down, it hurt. If you stood up, it hurt. If you peed, it hurt. Yeah, that was... I don't know. There's a long story behind that. Sorry I bring that up, but the stomach...
You talk about your pee hole all day.
Yeah, that stomach shot reminded me of that.
Oh,
that sounds awful.
It was a bladder cancer scare?
Yeah, I got bladder cancer. It was like the size of a dime. I started peeing blood for like a month.
Yeah.
And my ex finally made me go to the doctor. And they were like, oh, weird, you have a little tiny tumor.
Just a little baby
So
one.
the guy that did it was like, I've never seen something that small actually start bleeding. So it's kind of a miracle. Because normally a tumor will grow in your bladder to like the size of an orange before it'll like burst and start bleeding before you even know.
Holy shit.
So they're like, we're just going to cut that out and then burn your whole bladder so it doesn't grow anywhere else.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Yeah,
I've got to actually I'll show you it later after the show. I actually have like a scar under my pee hole that's just like Harry Potter's lightning bolt. Because that's how much they tore open my pee hole.
Dan, just adjust the lens on the camera. I'd like him to show it to the whole audience.
Yeah. We'll save it for the Patreon. I'll show it on there.
You're a wizard, Joel.
Yeah, you're a wizard, penis.
So they also had book burnings. Everything except the Bible was burned in the cathedral square, and all food, clothing, and supplies were confiscated and stored in depots and guarded. Everyone was doled out things equally. You weren't allowed to have more than anyone else, so on and so forth. And men and women were considered totally equal.
Progressive.
Yeah, very.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. A ton of Lutherans and the Catholics were kicked out, and then a ton of Lutherans in the city who were like middle class and up, especially, were like, we need to get the fuck out of here.
Except the women. The women seem to maybe get a good deal here.
Yeah, that's an upgrade for them, right?
Yeah.
It is.
Oh, yeah.
It is, and more women stick around than men, and we will get into what happens with that in a minute.
Then that's how it becomes
Dude,
a
they're
sex
geniuses.
cult.
Yeah.
That's
geniuses.
how you start to take multiple wives.
Boy, you are just nailing it here.
Yeah.
So partly, so the Lutherans were like, yeah, we need to get the fuck out of here immediately. The property of the people who left was taken immediately and shared with everyone else, put into the storage depots or whatever. Among those who were expelled from Munster was the city's Prince Bishop, Franz von Waldeck. He was expelled by the Anabaptists, and the Anabaptists declared war on him.
Oh, shit.
So Franz...
You can declare war on an individual.
Well, whatever, because he was the ruler of Munster.
That'd be kind of tight, though.
So Franz got out of there, and immediately, because he's both a prince and bishop, Franz immediately raised an army and showed right back the fuck up to Munster.
Oh,
and all
shit.
a bunch of royals, princes, and stuff around him in the area were like, "Yeah, here's some money, here's some troops. Go handle business.
Get
in
rid
your
of the
city,
fanatics.
because we don't want these fucking psychos spreading. So we'll deal with it. Deal with it." So he shows back up with an army funded by other princes in the area, help and stuff like that, and he lays siege to the city. And so,
And their army of women.
yeah, it's mostly chicks. There's men there still, certainly. So Mathis, the religious leader and thus the leader of the city, who was on a complete heat check at this point, once the siege is laid, he prophesied that on Easter Day, God's judgment was going to fall upon the wicked.
On Easter.
The wicked being Franz. And,
Those who laid siege.
and the people laying
prince.
siege to
The prince and bishop.
yeah, to the city, the Münster.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, Mathis was like, you know what? Not only am I Enoch, the guy who like saw the book of Revelation, I'm also the second coming of Gideon, who was a king from the Old Testament, who was noted for leading the Jews. I think the Israelites, maybe the Judeans. I don't remember. It doesn't matter.
Right, but I like that he's taken up these lesser-known characters.
Yeah, Enoch, Gideon. Yeah.
He's not like, oh, I'm the second coming of Jesus Christ.
Right.
He's
Like,
not
no,
going,
it was like this
God.
king in the Old Testament that made, manna rain from the sky like a third time.
Right. Well, what Gideon did was he kind of Leonidas it, Spartaned it, right? He took 300 men and won a great battle against a far, vastly superior force. Right. So Gideon's
Who'd he fight?
famous for that. Some
Babylonians?
nothing that cool. It's like a middle tier army, low tier army, to be honest. Wasn't Babylonian, Assyrian, Persian, anything like that. It's something I'd never even heard of. So Gideon did that, and so Mathis is like, you know what? I'm Gideon too. I'm fucking Gideon, and I'm Enoch. So and God told me that on Easter he's gonna fucking judge this army. So Mathis, let's see my heat checks. Eventually, you even burn yourself. So he was like, I'm gonna go fight this fucking army.
Oh, shit.
And his followers were like,
We're pretty good here.
by yourself?
Like, we got
Or, like-
protection.
he's like, I'm going to bring a couple other guys, but yeah, I got this.
We're behind the walls. Like, we
the-
could probably have an advantage from up here.
And he was like, no, it's fine. Actually, God even also gave me special powers where I can catch their cannonballs in the pockets of my jacket.
I mean, you don't know till you try.
You don't. So Mathis, and I read two different things on this. One said he went out of the city with 30 men against the whole army. The other said, and I want to believe this more because it's more apt, that he left with 12 men, so Jesus' 12 disciples.
Yeah.
Oh.
Went out of the city gates. And,
You don't want a 12th, though. Maybe go with 11. Someone's going to turn on you.
Ooh, yeah, I got to keep the Judas out of there. Well, it doesn't matter because the people who turned on Mathis were the army he was trying to fight. So him and his 12 guys fucking charged at the army or whatever.
So he believed all this shit.
Oh, he was 100%.
That's
he was like,
fucking
dude,
rad.
God told me.
I hope he wins.
and
I think
can
it makes
catch-
it better, actually.
I can catch
Yeah.
cannonballs.
The fact that he believed his own hype and he wasn't,
He wasn't
leading these people to
tricking anybody.
massacre, knowing full well that he was a piece of shit.
Yeah.
He
He
went
led
for
from
it.
the front.
Does he win?
No, they were immediately captured.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say killed. They got him.
They captured him. What'd you say? What do you think I was going to say?
Killed.
Oh, well, they then ripped him limb from limb.
Oh shit.
How many days later? Same day?
No.
Same day. Ripped him apart, cut him apart, put his head on a spike for the entire city to see, and for good measure, they Martin Luthered him, and they nailed his dick and balls to the city gates.
God damn.
Yeah, they cut off his dick and balls. Got to think while he was alive.
Otherwise, what's the point?
What is the point, right? And they nailed them to the city gates.
Dude, I feel bad for him only because he actually believed it. He wasn't a con man.
Yeah,
he was just crazy.
I think, but a lot of con men do just eventually believe that
they believe their own lies.
Yeah.
I mean, ultimately, you have so much success that you keep.
He believed it enough to charge an army with 12 dudes.
Exactly, he did do that. I agree. He believed it enough to do that. So this was bittersweet news for his disciple, John of Leyden, who was now.
Did the other 12 also get ripped in?
Oh yeah,
balls
they were
cut off
all
and
fucking
shit?
killed to shit. I think only one dick and balls nailed to the door, as far as I know.
To be fair, though, how many guys were they going against?
Thousands.
It was
an army, and a fucking army.
I don't know. If you told me
imagining 300.
If you told me
people.
40 dudes showed up and 12 tried to take them on, I'd be like, all right, I get that.
That's manageable if you do it right.
Yeah.
If you kind of fight a defensive fight, phalanx it.
Dude, this should be a movie. This is so rad. 12 dudes fucking charged. They all believed, right? They had to have.
Yeah, but who do you even root for in this situation?
The believers.
I'm rooting for the Prince Bishop personally.
The property owners.
Yeah, I'm rooting for the property. As a property owner, I'm rooting for the property owners.
Yeah.
So you're against women. We get it.
Yeah, 100%. My wife doesn't work. Not allowed to. By all the people who deem her unfit for a job.
Dude, 12 men went to war against 1,000 other men for women's rights, and you're against that.
And died immediately.
Yeah.
So, John Leyden became the leader of the city religiously and politically.
Okay.
Bittersweet, his master, the person he was a disciple of, was brutally murdered. So how does John Leyden begin his reign of the leader of Munster?
He took 12 more men.
No, he runs naked through the streets of Munster in wild religious ecstasy. Just rips off all his clothes and runs around naked celebrating.
Well, he just got a promotion.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. That's what I do whenever I get a raise.
Just run around the lot.
Yeah. That's why you guys haven't seen me naked yet.
It's a bummer. I want to.
Burn.
No, I want to.
I'm kidding.
Self-burn.
Well, you guys don't know this, but the reason I'm wearing this Hard AF hat on camera is because Ross agreed that I could have all the Hard AF I want for free.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I paid for this stuff that I'm drinking.
Yeah, he makes me pay for this.
Damn, that's weird.
$100 a week, whether I drink it or not. So that's why I have to drink it.
Yeah, so that's why I'm wearing the hat. Any Hard AF case in here, it's mine.
Wow.
So you could grab a case and give me one.
Could.
I'm trying to resell it currently and undercut them.
That would be really funny. Just create a secondary market.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So eventually John was like, hey, do you know how Mathis was Gideon, that random king from the Bible you never heard of? Well, I'm actually King David, the king you have heard of, the best king from the Bible. I'm actually him. Did you know that? And everyone's like...
It's like, hand me a slingshot.
Yeah, everyone's like, okay. So he became an absolute monarch of the socialist paradise that was Munster. Everyone's equal. Except for him, who's above everyone.
Who's the king now?
Right. Yeah. He also declared himself king of the world.
Why not? At that time,
Just for the job you want.
Not even that. At that time, your own little area is your world.
Well, no, he assumed that they were going to get everything else.
Slowly, they're just gonna march.
Where'd the army go?
They're still there.
Oh, okay.
They just killed those guys, and now this guy. These people are still in the city. It's a siege.
They're gonna go to Rome. They're gonna take Rome.
They're going to take everything, according to them. He declared himself king of the world, immediately had someone paint his portrait. He established a royal order and a royal court. He had them make him like a whole kingly like wardrobe and everything. Everyone was allowed 2 pair of clothes, 2 outfits, except him. He got as many as he wanted.
Mm-hmm.
So you got casual and then fancy.
Yeah, he had more than that. He melted down a bunch of gold and made it into like a scepter and a crown and stuff like that. He made a lot of promises to his starving subjects because the siege had been going on for a while at this point.
This dude rules.
He was like, "Hey, I know you're hungry, but salvation from the siege is coming in the form of like best case scenario we break it and rule the world. Worst case scenario we all go to heaven.
Right. But how am I supposed to lead on an empty stomach?
Yeah.
I can't. So I have to. The food's for me.
Right. So, as you alluded to earlier, because men and women were equal under the Anabaptists, and a lot of people left the city, most of the people that left the city who weren't married or had families or whatever were men, and most of the women stuck around because they were like,
Got a good
this
deal.
is actually not that bad compared to what I was doing.
Also, smaller stomachs.
True. Easier to feed. So there were more women in Munster than men. Specifically, more women than could be married to men. So there's a problem because
Big
if
problem.
there's one thing a woman shouldn't be, it's unmarried.
100%.
It's gross. It's disgusting.
And they didn't have enough husbands.
I mean, how are you going to be 21 How are you going to be 21 and not married?
It's foul. It's pathetic. Gross. So
There's a way to fix this.
Yeah. So John was like, there's only one thing to do. And he made polygamy legal.
My man.
And then he went a step further and made polygamy required. It wasn't that you could have multiple wives. It's that you had to have multiple wives.
They should do that here. But like, you either have to go into the military or you gotta have a kid.
Okay.
Yeah, but what if you're the ugly guy that has no wives? You can't pull any bitches. You get no hoes.
You gotta fill out a form and one's sent to you.
You get no hoes because the women are disgusted by you. And now you're in legal trouble? How's that your problem?
Don't worry. They made a law to solve that problem.
Forced marriages? Arranged marriages?
We'll get to it.
Be like,
So,
yeah, Carl over there has no game. He can
Hockey
barely
puck
speak.
penis.
Hockey puck penis. He has no real prospects. And now they're going to hang him for it.
So, John, a.k.a. the new King David, king of the world, he personally took 16 wives for himself, including Mathis's widow. Good guy.
Yeah.
Grabbed her.
Make sure she's okay.
But to help out any uggos, any ugly guys that had no game, any cucks, any gaylords, whatever, John passed another law that said an unmarried woman must accept the first marriage proposal made to her.
Damn.
So this law passes, and it's like if you propose, they have to marry you.
So the city just became supermarket sweep.
Yes.
Yeah.
The city literally became a supermarket fucking sweeps of women.
And they're not really equal anymore.
Dips.
Yeah, that equality went out the fucking window.
Yeah.
She's mine.
Yeah.
I own her. I own you.
Will you marry me? Will you marry me?
Yeah. The result in this is that men competed to see who could acquire the most wives.
Yeah.
And
the whole time there's a siege going on.
the whole fucking time, there's an army outside starving them to death, ready to fucking murder them.
And they're all just having the time of their lives.
Well, half of them. Well, a third of them, I guess. Yeah.
Something like
Yeah.
Who knows the ratio, I guess.
There was one woman who actually refused to marry the king himself, Elizabeth Wandscherer.
Big mistake.
So they sent her out with 12 of her friends.
That would have been better.
Oh, no.
John had her beheaded in the marketplace and then allegedly danced around her body afterwards and was like, ha, 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 ha. That's what you get for not marrying me.
Was it a slow beheading, quick, one slice?
I don't know if the
Was it
They used the
clean?
blacksmith's body they melted down.
the body sword, yeah, the bones, the blacksmith's bone sword.
It was really a saw.
Yeah, they made
Yeah.
a saw out of all his ribs.
Yeah,
Took an entire day to cut her head off.
not a good day. So after a year of this siege,
Wait, I have a question.
yeah,
Could the women ask the men?
no,
So, fuck. That sucks.
So it was a game of hide and seek.
Could a woman
Literally.
have multiple husbands?
no,
Damn.
It's a one-way street.
Because that would be cool, right? Like if you could ask any woman to marry you, even if she already was married.
Yeah, you're just like, you're so hot. Like, I don't care if you're getting dick down. By
Listen, progress is not a speed run. It's a marathon.
Yeah. Good point.
So after a year of the siege, things in Munster were getting really fucking grim. They were out of food. People are eating rats, possibly other people. That was unconfirmed. And anyone who escaped the siege, like crossed the Berlin Wall, tried to get over to the better side, was just murdered by the army outside. Like, they're like, yeah, fuck you, you fucking Anabaptists. But the Anabaptists tried to get innovative to break the siege. They built an early version of a tank. Remember the movie we watched?
Mm-hmm.
With the armored wagon?
With Jan?
Yeah, with a different Jan. Yeah. They built this big fucking armored wagon. They're like, we're going to roll this out, put some guns in it. They'll try to run up and kill us, and we'll...
That dude was actually, he's one of the heroes of the Czech Republic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What dude?
I forget his last name.
From the movie you were watching?
Jan. It was a movie that just came out with...
Ben Foster.
Ben Foster, yeah.
Oh, shit.
I forget the name of the guy and the movie, but he's like, he's a hero of the Czech Republic.
Okay.
Who was the old guy in it? Was it Michael Caine in it?
Michael Caine, I don't believe, was in it.
There was an old guy, old famous actor in it who was in it for like 2 scenes.
Yeah.
I forget the name, though. Anyway, so they made this version of a tank, and they were going to fuck this army up. It was a heavily armored wagon. Could do all kinds of gnarly shit with it, with guns and pikes and stuff like that. And it would have worked, but they had already eaten all the horses that could have pulled it.
Oh, fuck.
So it was just stuck in town.
What about the oxen?
Yeah, everything was eaten. They ate everything.
What about the children?
That's just miscommunication.
Yeah. You build the wagon first. I mean, you can't...
Right, if you're working on the wagon, you got to have at least 3
Yeah,
horses
you got
to
to.
pull
You got
it.
to.
Yeah. You're like, don't eat these fucking 3 horses. For the love of God. If you want to eat anything good again, don't eat these horses. After a surprisingly lengthy resistance, over a year, the city was finally taken by Franz the bishop's army on June 24th,
Franz Gruber,
1535. John of Leyden and several other prominent Anabaptist leaders were captured and imprisoned.
Does he get it?
What?
I hope he gets, like, his due.
What's coming to him?
Yeah, don't worry about that. He was found hiding in the cellar of a house. About
Still holding his gold.
Yeah. About
Fucking
6 months.
scepter.
I don't understand, by the way, how...
Was he in, like, a little Saddam spider hall?
I guess he's in a
Yeah.
cellar. Like, I don't understand how you don't just, like, take all your clothes off, put on a potato sack, rub some dirt on your face, and you're like, oh, I'm just a farmer. I don't know. Like, no one knows what you look like.
Grow beard.
Like, 20 people could be like, that's the guy. And you could just be like, I'm not the guy. Now, they might still not believe you, but I feel like you got to lie.
Yeah.
There's no way to prove it's you,
That's
except
like
for that portrait you had
It's
painted.
a whole plot point.
There's no
in
way he would
House
take
of
it out.
Dragons, where obviously she's the queen, and she just, in order to kind of slum it, she just dresses like a peasant.
Yeah.
Just
Just like,
nobody knows who she is.
man, yeah, you just rub a little shit on your face. And I mean, that's what Arya does, too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not that people would.
Jasmine, dude, from Aladdin.
Yeah. Just puts on rub a little dirt, you're good to go.
Yeah.
So, about 6-7 months later, January 22nd, 1536.
Because, like, in the 1500s, best case scenario, they have a sketch of you.
Literally, yeah. I mean, you could
If
do,
that.
you could do pretty good paintings back then, and he did have a portrait painted of him.
That him? No.
I think he just refused to take off his fucking robes and stuff. You know?
That's fair.
So they did have.
Once
I mean,
you get a taste of the sweet life, it's hard to go back.
Yeah.
yeah.
He
You
couldn't
don't-
let go of that scepter, dude. They had to pry it off his dead body.
I mean, do you even want to go back? Wouldn't you rather die? So, in
point.
January 1536, John and Knipperdolling and another guy were tortured and executed. The way it worked was each of these 3 were attached to a pole by an iron spiked collar. One by one, their body would be ripped slowly with a red hot tongs. So they would take red hot tongs, like grab a piece of your arm and just pull it off.
Oh.
Grab your nip,
Yep.
pull it off.
Wait, how are they attached to the pole?
By a spiked
Collar?
collar, yeah. So they were doing it one by one. just ripping pieces of you off with red hot tongs, just over and over again.
I think
Just,
16th century, we had a renaissance of torture.
So I read that this German torture inspired the Spanish Inquisition. Like they learned their shit from the Germans, which makes a lot of sense.
But like the Middle
They're
Ages,
red hot so you don't bleed, right? It cauterizes the wounds
yeah,
so
it
you
keeps
live
alive
longer.
Yeah,
Jesus.
ancient times we had some pretty creative ways, but Middle Ages we kind of
we got back to it.
But I'm saying like early Middle Ages, we kind of get lazy, and then once it gets to the 1500s again, though, we start to get okay, we can do this, we can do that. We're just trying things out.
The worst one by far to me, the two that give me nightmares. The ancient one is they probably did the other one in ancient times
The bronze bowl,
the bowl, being put in the bowl and cooked alive, and then the medieval one, the Spanish Inquisition one, is they would deep fry you. Fucking
like
breaking wheel sounds bad too.
Vat of boiling oil. The breaking wheel also sounds pretty
But
good.
that would be quick, I feel like.
It probably would, actually. You probably not.
The one you just said that sounds awful.
The breaking wheel's horrifying. In fact, the breaking wheel, I did an episode on this, I feel like, a while back, where the breaking wheel kind of helped inspire the French Revolution. Like, it was like a last straw for the French, where some guy who tried to murder a king, King Louis XV maybe, got killed on the breaking wheel in public, and people were like, this is too much.
What's the breaking wheel?
They essentially, they put you on a wheel, they start pulling you, and then they smash your fucking legs and arms, break your legs and arms, and then keep pulling you. So you have have you ever had a broken bone?
Like the wheel, you're on the, how are you on the wheel?
You're on a wheel and you're
tied to it.
Tied.
And then it slowly.
You're on the side of the wheel.
Moves, but your body
on top
breaks
of the wheel,
with
I
it.
think. And the wheel's stretching you.
Oh, okay. That's what I thought it was.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Just making sure. Ugh.
So yeah, they were ripping these guys, ripping pieces of them off, skin, flesh, whatever, with the red hot tongs.
Oh, dude.
Nipperdulling saw this happening to John. They're doing it one at a time, and he was like, "I'm out," and he tried to strangle himself with the collar. So he just tried to kill himself. He was trying to just He was like, no fucking way.
Did he do it?
No, they stopped him. They were like, "Oh no, buddy, you're not getting
off that easy,
Yeah,
buddy.
yeah. They're like, you're doing all of this.
Dude, I've never been afraid of dying my whole life or at all. But the older I get, the more I'm afraid of being in pain as I die.
Yeah, yeah.
Torture is the most terrifying thing.
Like
the older I get, I just please just die fast. I don't want to be in pain for a year before I die, or months,
or hours even,
or hours. Being in pain sucks.
You don't be getting tortured by the KGB.
Dude, and yeah, torture's the worst version of my biggest fear.
So
with a car battery.
Oh yeah, fucking nightmare. So after the burning and ripping of the flesh, they took the hot tongs and pulled their tongues out, one by one.
Can't scream.
And then each of them was killed by having a red hot dagger stabbed through their heart.
That's not bad.
How long were they tortured for?
About an hour each.
Fuck, dude.
Only an hour?
I've never heard of this torture technique, to be honest. That's the first time.
And a red hot dagger to the heart. That seems quick.
But that's
at the end of the hour. Yeah.
Why's it got to be red hot if it's a kill move?
I think it's symbolic more than anything. The bodies were then placed in 3 iron cages and hoisted up and hung from the steeple of St. Lambert's Church, and their remains were left to rot as a reminder to everyone of what happens when you rebel against the church and the state. About 50 years later, the bones were finally removed. However,
don't fuck with us.
Yeah, but it kind of.
And what religion did that to him?
50 years?
Catholicism.
I start passing the church every day. I expect to see those bones now.
I know.
Remove those bones, man, I lose a little piece of that church.
The iron cages still hang from the church to this day.
There they are. The lesson's still right there. The bones probably just
They're
fell
well-made
out.
cages.
The bones will fall out of it, yeah.
Well-made cages.
Oh, actually, they were so well made that
that's creepy as fuck.
It got taken down a little bit during World War II because they were getting bombed a bunch, and when World War II was over, and they were repairing the cathedral. The cathedral got bombed. The people were repairing the cathedral when they were rehanging the cages because they were like, should we rehang them or not? And the church was like, yeah, put them back up. Yeah, this lesson ain't learned yet.
Fuck yeah.
The dudes who were like not architects, but like builders and craftsmen who were like looking at the cages, they were like, these are some damn good cages.
Yeah, these are like survived the bombing.
Yeah.
Shouldn't have killed the blacksmith.
Yeah, I know, right? He probably made those cages. I hope his son made those cages.
His retribution.
Yeah. That is all I got for today. Who's today's Hitler?
That was fucked, by the way. This is how all your shows are? Like, do you always look for the most fucked up shit?
Rob tries to do a left turn, but there was no turn. It was just a straight shot here.
I think the army's the Hitler.
I don't think it's the army.
Army.
I think it's the fucking dude that took over the town.
The second guy.
The second leader,
stuff.
Yeah. First leader, I believed in him. I believe him.
Okay.
I believe he just believed poorly in himself.
Yeah, King David here.
So Gideon, good guy. Gideon, a.k.a. Mathis, good guy.
I wouldn't say
John,
he's a good
a.k.a.
guy.
Not a good guy. He just got it wrong, but he believed in what he was saying.
Perhaps a
and what he was
schizophrenic.
doing.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Who knows? A lot of untreated mental illness in the 1500s.
Yeah.
Uh,
Certainly.
The guy hiding in the cellar with his scepter is my Hitler.
Yeah.
Also, if they were exposed to some type of drug or like mushroom fungus.
So there is a theory that ergot played a role here, much like it did in the Salem witch trials.
So, homie probably had no idea what was happening.
But So the
Wait, they
Salem
might
witch-
have been on mushrooms?
So ergot is, I don't know if you know this. So the Salem witch trials, this is like almost pretty much confirmed.
It's like mushroom-ish.
No, it's LSD. Ergot is a fungus or
it is
what
LSD, okay.
mold that grows on corn, like kind of older corn that's been left out a little too long.
Yeah.
That's like LSD, basically makes you trip balls.
Okay, that would make way more sense than mushrooms because mushrooms just make you feel.
Yeah.
But if you're hallucinating off LSD,
And everybody is at the same time.
Right, and that is they're positive that ergot was kind of rampant in Salem during the witch trials from just like corn stores and stuff like that. There's a theory that ergot might have played a role here too. They didn't have like corn here though. I don't think the Americas had only been discovered 30 years before.
you're telling me
this started.
maize was uniquely American?
It is, yeah.
Really?
Yep.
Huh.
I've heard this Salem theory before, but it's been proven now? Or almost proven?
They're pretty sure. They feel very confident. I don't know if it can be like proven, but they're pretty confident.
It all makes sense then, though. The obviously were witches.
They also believe
didn't know you were on
Revelations was written as John was like hallucinating on ergot.
No, his was some kind of weird mushroom, I thought.
Oh, it was mushroom? Oh.
Yeah. Or something like that.
So
The
they're all
burning bush?
funguses, right?
Ergot's a mold.
What's the difference between a fungus and a mold? I guess
There is a difference. Someone would have to explain it to me because I cannot articulate it to you.
okay.
I don't know. I thought
There is a
mold
difference.
is like bacteria generated and fungus comes from...
Mold kills bacteria because penicillin's mold.
Oh, okay, so
I
don't know.
The first antibiotic or whatever was penicillin, and that was like found on
Joel, you
mold.
said that so confidently. I thought, yeah, he's
I'm
right.
trying to learn from
He's
Rob.
Yeah, it's true. No, the ergot. All I know about ergot, its chemical composition is K2 dash I think C_5 something. But yeah, that's all I know about ergot.
That's a good name, ergot.
Do you guys believe that? Because I just made that up.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, okay.
I was about to fucking
I can see his face. He
dunk your
had a
head
half
in
getting
the toilet.
he had a half smirk listening to you. Ergot Fox would be a good name for a son.
That's essentially what his kids are.
What'd you guys learn today?
One wife's enough for me.
Wouldn't it be sweet though if you could run up to the hottest girl in town, like you hear the law and you're like a pretty fast runner, and there's like 8 dudes running, you just run up to the hottest chick in Munster, and you're like, "Will you marry me?"
I think just a little posty note that says dibs.
Yeah, kind of basically what you do. And they were doing that. They were running around being like, her.
That's not. I'll stick with one wife.
Yeah.
That's what I learned.
Seriously.
I learned I'd probably avoid the 1500s. Just if I had to go back in time, Europe in the 1500s, not a great time.
It seems like it sucks.
I'd go to Salem though.
That's
go
only
back
like
in time
100
to
years
that.
later from this, I think. When was it?
Because then you could be. But if you went knowing what you know now, and you could go then, you could just be getting fucked up on.
Like I'd
LSD.
rather live in Germany 500 years earlier.
In 1380?
500 years earlier.
Oh, 500 years earlier. I'm sorry. You'd rather live in 1,000?
Mm-hmm.
What is that, like fighting the Gauls?
Nah, no, it's like height of the Holy Roman Empire.
Mm.
Yeah, seems more chill.
But everyone's Catholic. No one's getting too weird.
Exactly, dude.
Yeah, exactly.
My people.
What'd you learn today?
That's what I learned is one wife.
Okay.
Yeah. That's all I've learned.
Okay. Well,
because I wasn't paying attention for most of it.
yeah, it's fine. That's all I got.
It's hard to follow Rob sometimes.
All I got for today, boys. Thank you so much for listening. As always, subscribe to our Patreon, patreon.com/softcorehistory. And please like and leave a review. Leave reviews on Apple, especially the written reviews. That helps us rise up the charts and stuff like that. That's all I got for Dan Regester and Joel Hodge-Brenner.
Joel, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
I'm Rob Fox.
Where can people find you?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I don't know.
He doesn't.
I don't care.
At the
I'm just-
studio?
Yeah.
Trailer.
The trailer.
Yeah. Oh, well, I guess I should. I would do a show with Jesse, Crime Corner.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Crime Corner. We'll put that. Holy shit. Yeah, you do
Yeah.
a show with Jesse Wiseman, Crime Corner. We'll put that in the fucking bio and everything.
Yeah, that works for me.
God,
Yeah.
give our fucking guests some love here.
I don't know.
I'm not good at promoting
I'm
myself.
fucking
I
so tired.
yeah. I'm too
We
embarrassed
got
to do it
another
myself.
episode to go, buddy.
Well, I don't have to lead it, so I'll be happy. I'll just get to lob grenades.
Just like
Sorry
this
for
guy.
having me is
Yeah.
what I should say. Yeah, sorry for having
Thanks
me.
for
Thank
coming.
you.
We're happy
Yeah.
to have you. But yeah, for Dan Regester and Joel Hodge-Brenner.
Benner. You're like Ross now.
Benner.
There was
Say
never an
that.
R.
Never an R. Benner, yeah.
I said it right the first
It's
time.
Mandela
and I said it
effect right
wrong.
there. You slid into a different universe.
Yeah, it's just a different universe. You guys we're all right in different ways. Yeah, I'm Rob Fox.
You got soft served.